Hello everyone, good afternoon. Sage here, live from the Kalkine studios, and you are watching the Market Movers show. Australian share market is edging up today amid positive global cues and majority of the local sectoral indices trading in green amid broader trends. On that note, let us zoom our lens on the market performance today and the drives under the spotlight. The Australian share market continues to trade higher on Tuesday, led by gains in energy stocks and positive cues from the US market. The Wall Street rally had been supported by gains in technology shares after investors regained a risk appetite and kept inflation worries on the sidelines, for the time being anyway. On Monday, global equities charged higher while the US dollar hovered around a 4-month low against major currencies as investors eye upcoming US inflation readings for guidance on the monetary policy. Oil prices edged higher on Monday as increased COVID-19 vaccination drives gave market participants an optimism that the market can absorb any supply of Iranian oil that would come in the market if Western talks with Tehran materialised to the lifting of sanctions. The domestic benchmark ASX 200 soared over 3% as heavyweight energy stocks firmed due to rise in crude oil prices. Major energy stocks such as Woodside Petroleum and Oil Search Limited climbed up the ASX ladder. Besides, the rise in the tech-heavy NASDAQ was reflected in the domestic tech shares too, as tech subindex headed for its fourth day of gains. TechnologyOne reported a 48% rise in profit after tax of 28 million Australian dollars for the first half of the 2021 financial year. Then Appen, Nuix, WiseTech Global and Afterpay also inched up. The healthcare index also advanced to hit its highest in more than 5 months. Despite the ASX 200 rising to a 2-week high, the gold stocks eased even as the precious metal inched higher on support from a weaker dollar and lower US Treasury yields. The gold players such as Gold Resources, Ramelius Resources and West Gold Resources are the leading laggards. Moving ahead, Australian miners such as Rio Tinto, Fortescue Metals Group Limited and BHP Group Limited are trending in green. This is when Asia's iron ore futures fell on Monday, leading to another round of selling in the metals sector after China warned against commodity price manipulation and vowed to halt speculative trading. And moving on, let us look at some gainers on the board that are maintaining the ASX 200's momentum. Beginning with fintech player Hub24 Limited rose around 8% amid overall charged up tech space. The investment technology company shares may have risen after the US tech stocks ended on a higher note overnight. Then, retail player Kogan.com Limited rose over 7% to the intraday high of $10.70 Australian. The stock continued its recovery on Tuesday amid expectations that the stock is well placed to benefit from rising online adoption. It happened despite the analysts earlier slashing the company's profit forecasts and the share price targets after considering its weaker than expected sales growth. And notably, Kogan.com shares have fallen by more than 60% since October last year. Moving on, the shares of employment marketplace Seek Limited rose 4.5%. The stock has surged despite any major update by the company. The stock may have reacted to the overnight rise in the tech-heavy NASDAQ. Seek is Australia's #1 employment marketplace. It matches hirers and job seekers with career opportunities and related services on the internet. And now, before I share some important latest updates from the ASX listed companies that are gaining today, it's time for a quick break.
At Kalkine TV, we'll take you to the heart of the Australian equity market. We'll bring you breakthrough stories that highlight volatility, as well as tailwinds building across the length and breadth of markets. Whether space travel will gain momentum, while economies may gradually open amid vaccine rollouts, our experts will share their timely inputs. So join us on this exciting journey of live streaming, financial and stock market news. Kalkine TV.
Welcome back from the break. This is Sage live from the Kalkine studios here in Sydney, and you are watching the Market Movers. And you're watching the ASX listed stocks that are seeing the gains today. So the next major market mover is from the emerging lithium space. The stock of the Australian lithium mining company Pilbara Minerals Limited surged over 4.5%. The stock may have risen due to a rise in commodity prices in its latest industry report. Fitch Solutions said that it expects broad lithium prices to trend higher in 2021 and 2022. The prices are expected to surge on account of accelerating demand for lithium-ion batteries and a tight upstream supply. And notably, average global prices for lithium carbonate have increased in the recent past amid higher electric vehicle demand. Next up is carsales.com Limited, which surged just over 4% to $18 Australian. Carsales.com is the online marketplace which specialises in automotive, motorcycle and marine classifieds business in Australia. Carsales is a strategic investor in Plenti. The stock rose after Plenti Group announced record revenue, loan originations and loan book numbers for financial year 2021. Plenti particularly reported robust growth in its automotive finance section. And moving on again, Straker Translations gained on upbeat outlook and improved financial year earnings. The New Zealand-based translation services provider forecasts financial year revenue of over 50 million New Zealand dollars at an improved gross margin. Straker Translations informed the financial year adjusted EBITDA loss narrowed 66% to 0.2 million New Zealand dollars, while revenue rose 13% to 31 million New Zealand dollars. The company added that the improvement reflected the acquisition's contribution in the fourth quarter and in the last quarter of the 2020 financial year. And next, the share price of Element 25 Limited gained on executing a multi-user access deal with the Pilbara Port Authority. The deal is for the use of Utah Point facility in Western Australia for the bulk export of manganese from the company's production facility at the Butcherbird project. And moving on now, Dr. Care shares gained on striking a deal with UK healthcare firm Stock Gains, and the telehealth firm stated it has signed head of terms with Nuffield Health, a UK-based private healthcare organisation. The deal is to develop a digitally integrated virtual and in-person primary care service. Dr. Care added that the deal will help the company to be able to increase the scope and volume of primary care consultations. Thanks for joining us on that report. That is all for now. But please stay tuned for more live updates on Kalkine TV across the economy, markets, diverse themes and sectors. Sage signing off for now.